Hello everyone. So yesterday we created a very basic counter, just one button click me to increment the counter. Today I want to just modify the counter itself and add two more buttons to it, reset and decrement. So rather than using a use state, I will prefer using use reducer over it because we have more than one actions. It would be easier to handle it with the use reducer. So let's start. So I have created a folder called counter2 for this project and created a file called counter2.tsx. I think let's just create a UI. So it will be just count. Let's say it is 0 right now. We will have three buttons. So decrement. Okay. Yeah, this looks great. Yeah, this is working fine. Let's try to add functionality in this. So, as I said, we will be using use reducer in this one. So let's just create a state and a dispatch function. Use reducer. So use reducer will take reducer function as an argument and initial state. So let's create a reducer function. It will be state. Let's give it a default value of initial state and action. So in our case, action will just have type. There's no need of payload since we don't have any user input. So action increment. I forgot switch. Okay, decrement. State. Let's do it for reset. So in this case, we will just make it 0. In case of increment, we will witness 1. Yeah, let's give an initial state as well. Okay. Okay, so this looks fine. We are not using it. Let's use it. State dot count. Okay. It dispatch with type as decrement. Let's copy paste it everywhere. Mhm. Okay, we'll make it reset. Increment. Okay, the spelling is correct. Everything looks fine. Let's try if it is working. Okay, so increment is working. Reset is working. Decrement is working. So let's add types to it. We can start with the initial state. So for initial state we can have state. So our initial state is an object with count. Count is a number. Okay, and we will assign this type to our. This looks fine now. Now let's try to add our action types. So there are three actions. Action types, let's say action types. Decrement, reset, and increment. And our counter actions have just type, which will be action types. Now we'll assign this type to type. Sorry, not action types, counter actions. Now let's see how it works. I want to show you one very interesting thing which I found out while learning this. So it will give you all the available possible actions. So we just have decrement, increment, reset. So let's use decrement. Return this. Now if you type again, so only those two are remaining. So it is not even suggesting decrement now. And it's hard for us to give an incorrect spelling for the actions also. So suppose if I try increment, it will throw an error that it is not comparable to type action types. Okay, let's return count plus 1 in case of reset. See, over here the spelling is different for increment. I think we gave a wrong spelling over here. So it is saying over here that increment is not assignable to type action type. Did you mean increment? Increment. So it will handle the spelling mistakes for us also as well. So if we just change it to increment, which is of course wrong spelling, it will work fine now. So yeah, I think this is working fine now. Let's just try it one more time. Okay, increment is working fine, decrement is working fine, reset is working fine. Okay, so let's just go through it once more. Over here we are passing one reducer function and an initial state. We have initialize given the type for the initial state. In our case it just count with number. If you want to take string also, we can just use string as well. And we have assigned this type to our initial state, and for the actions we have defined our action types. In this case we don't have any payload, but if we had payload we can specify it just like this, and like whatever the payload is, if it is a number or a string or even an object. Yeah, I think that's about it. I hope you like the video, and if you have any suggestions for me and if you have any views on this, write down in the comment section. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe the channel. Thank you all.